So, throughout history, there have been some ferocious creatures that have ruled the earth, and it seems the biggest and most dangerous have since gone extinct. For this list, I won't be including very well-known animals such as the Spinosaurus or T-Rex, or for the most part, any other dinosaurs. Number 10. Gigantopithecus. This creature was a monstrous ape closely related to the orangutan that roamed the bamboo forests, jungles, and mountains of China, India, and Vietnam during the Pleistocene epoch. It was a vegetarian, but still probably not a sight for sore eyes. It could grow up to 3 meters tall and weigh up to 1,200 pounds. Its strength was undoubtedly extraordinary and probably kept it safe from most predators, and it probably would not hesitate to use its strength against a human who got too close for its comfort. It went extinct 300,000 years ago, possibly due to overhunting by early humans or as the result of climate change. Number 9. 30-toe-long scorpions. Officially known as Palamonoscorpius, these creatures were very similar to today's scorpions but could grow up to 3 times their size. They lived in what is now Greece, Turkey, and Bulgaria around 30 million years ago. During this time, the Aegean Islands were much closer together and the area was much drier than it is today. This likely led to the scorpion's extinction around 5 million years ago when the area became more forested and wetter. However, fossils have also been found in France, Spain, and Italy, indicating that these giant insects may have spread throughout much of Europe before going extinct. Number 8. Mola Mola. Mola Mola is an extinct genus of mammal from the order Artiodactyla. The only surviving member of the genus is the okapi. These strange-looking mammals lived in what is now North America and Europe around 50 million years ago. They were about the size of a horse with a very long neck and tail. Their skull was elongated and flattened with no horns or antlers. Paleontologists believe they were browsers, meaning they mostly ate leaves and other vegetation. There are several theories as to why they went extinct. One is that they were outcompeted for food by other mammals. Another is that they were hunted by large carnivores such as the hyaenodon. Number 7. Megalodon. This is probably the most famous extinct animal on this list. The megalodon was a massive shark that lived around the world in the past few million years. It was the largest fish that ever lived, reaching lengths of up to 60 feet and weighing over 100 tons. The megalodon was a very efficient predator, perfectly adapted for hunting large prey. Its huge size and powerful jaws meant that it was at the top of the food chain. But despite its success as a hunter, the megalodon eventually went extinct. One theory is that it was due to a decrease in the population of large whales, which were its main source of food. Another theory is that it was due to a change in ocean currents, which resulted in a decrease in the temperature of the oceans. This would have made it harder for the megalodon to find food and survive. Number 6. Glyptodon. The glyptodon was a mammal that lived in South America during the Pleistocene epoch. It was about the size of a Volkswagen Beetle and had a shell like the size of a tortoise. It was one of the last of the glyptodonts, a group of mammals that had been around for over 100 million years. The glyptodon went extinct around 10,000 years ago. The cause of its extinction is unknown, but it is thought to have been related to climate change or human hunting. So, what do you think of these gigantic extinct animals? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to stay tuned for more videos like this. See you next time. 6. Giant spiders. Not all of the prehistoric monsters were huge. Take this ancient spider, for example. It grew up to a meter long and were armed with sharp claws and a venomous stinger. It's not known how deadly the venom was, but considering the large amount it injected with each attack, it was more than likely very deadly. During the time period that these things were around, there were also giant roaches the size of house cats, dragonflies the size of hawks, and millipede relatives up to 3 meters long. Number 8. Giant crocodiles. If normal crocodiles weren't bad enough, there was once a creature now known as parasaurs, which was more than twice the size of a regular crocodile. It lived in South America 8 million years ago and would grow up to 13 m long. That's more than twice as long as the largest species of crocodile alive today. It would be fully capable of swallowing a human whole. These giant crocodiles were capable of fighting T-Rexes and winning. Number 7. Creepiest. Without a doubt, the most horrifying living thing to ever come from the sky. These creatures were gigantic predatory birds standing at about roughly the same height as a giraffe. Some of them had wingspans of up to 12 meters, making them capable of snatching prey out of the water and carrying it off with ease. Their fossils have been found in North and South America as well as Europe and Africa. The Quetzalcoatlus was one of the last of the flying dinosaurs, and although it may have gone extinct due to the asteroid impact, it was truly a terrifying sight to behold. Imagine being a small mammal trying to escape this thing while it swoops down from above with its massive wings beating like pistons and its razor-sharp talons extended. Number 6. Gigantophis garstini. This supersized snake is one of the most recent prehistoric monsters to exist. It was discovered in 2007 in North Africa and was estimated to be around 40 feet long. That's longer than a Tyrannosaurus rex. It was an aquatic snake, so it spent most of its time in the water. It had a very narrow head and small eyes, which is unusual for a snake of this size. It's believed that it hunted fish and other marine animals. Number 5. Dunkleosteus. This prehistoric fish was a true monster of the seas. It had a massive head and jaws that could easily crush a human skull. Its teeth were like daggers, and it had rows and rows of them. This fish was a carnivore, and it had no problem taking down large prey. It was also very agile and could swim at a fast pace despite its size. It's no wonder that the Dunkleosteus was one of the top predators in the ocean. Megalodon. This is the largest shark that ever lived. It had a huge body and could reach lengths of up to 60 feet. That's bigger than a whale. The megalodon was a very powerful predator, and it was feared by all. Marine biologists believe that it went extinct because it needed a lot of food to survive, and the oceans were changing. 2. Titanoboa. Titanoboa was the largest land snake that ever existed. It was discovered in Mexico and was estimated to be around 50 feet long. That's longer than a school bus. The Titanoboa was a very scary creature, and it was definitely the king of the jungle. It's believed that it ate large mammals and even other predators. Number 1. Arthropisis. This dinosaur was one of the largest and most ferocious carnivores that ever lived. It was about the size of a Tyrannosaurus rex, but it was much faster and more agile. The art of the synthesis had sharp claws and teeth, and it used them to hunt down prey. It was also very intelligent and knew how to use its environment to its advantage. No wonder it was the top predator in its ecosystem. Which of these prehistoric monsters was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Here are the top 6 biggest animals that ever lived, Part 2. Number 6. We have the Titanoboa. This gigantic snake is the largest land predator that ever lived. It was about 42 feet long, almost as long as an Airbus A380, which is the largest passenger aircraft ever built. However, unlike the A380, the Titanoboa didn't take to the skies. Instead, it slithered along the ground on its belly, using its massive size to overpower pretty much any animal that got in its way. Scientists estimate that it weighed around 100 pounds, which is more than a Tyrannosaurus rex. The snake's body would have been around 3 feet thick, giving it a huge advantage when hunting. It would have been able to constrict its prey before swallowing it whole. But how exactly do you kill a prey that big? Well, the Titanoboa didn't need to kill its prey. It was big enough to swallow a whole horse without killing it first. Number 5. We have the Quetzalcoatlus. With a wingspan of 12 to 15 m, these flying reptiles were as large as a small plane. However, despite having such large wings, they were not very good at flying. What was rather strange about the creatures were their body proportions. They had ridiculously long legs, necks and beaks, and very small bodies. Because of this, scientists believe that they did not hunt in the air, but rather walked on the ground hunting for any animal they could catch and swallow a whole. And that may have included dog-sized or maybe even man-sized creatures. Number 4, we have the megalodon. This enormous extinct creature is the biggest species of shark to have ever existed. It's generally thought to have looked similar to the modern great white. However, while a great white shark can grow up to be 20 ft long and over 7. Eorozero-PB megalodon was estimated to be 60 ft in length, weighing anywhere from 50 to 100 tons. That's about the same weight as 10 African elephants. The giant shark only died off about 6 million years ago, which is very recent in the context of evolution. Number 3, we have the Argentavis. This gigantic bird of prey is the largest flying animal that ever lived. It was so big that it's believed that it could have lifted a full-grown human off the ground with its powerful talons. The Argentavis' wingspan was estimated to be between 33 and 66 feet, which is wider than a basketball court. However, despite being so big, it's thought that it could only carry a maximum load of about 300 pounds, which means that if 2 people got on its back, it would probably crash. Number 2, we have the Spinosaurus. This enormous carnivore was one of the apex predators of the late Cretaceous period. It's thought to have looked like a cross between a Tyrannosaurus rex and a crocodile. It had a long neck and back, short arms, and a huge head with sharp teeth. Scientists estimate that it was around 50 feet long and weighed about 99 tons. However, some recent studies have suggested that it may have been closer to 65 feet long, making it even bigger than the Argentinosaurus. Number 1, the biggest animal that ever lived is the Argentinosaurus. This gigantic herbivore was about 100 feet long and weighed over 100 tons. It was about the size of a Boeing 737. The Argentinosaurus was discovered in 1981 in Argentina by paleontologist José Bonaparte. At the time, it was the largest animal ever found. Since then, several other giant dinosaurs have been discovered, but none have been able to beat the Argentinosaurus. Well, that's all for now, but don't forget to stay tuned for more videos about amazing animals. Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to Paleologic. Okay, let's get into it. Number 6, 6 million years ago. This means that he often interacted with animals that are still around today like giant sea turtles, porpoises, and even whales. If these guys were still around, it would just be one more reason to stay out of the ocean. Number 5, Gorgonops. Before dinosaurs came along, the planet was still full of giant, horrifying monsters. A prime example is Gorgonops, an animal that lived 260 million years ago, way before the dinosaurs. At around 6 to 10 feet in length, Gorgonops was such a fast and vicious predator that it quickly rose to the top of the food chain. Of course, it also helped that Gorgonops had massive canines, so large they nearly protruded beyond its lower jaw. Number 4, terror birds. These birds were the top predators in South America and parts of North America during the Main-Apine and early Pline periods before they were replaced by big cats and other carnivorous mammals. Unlike Quetzalcoatlus, they were unable to fly but could run very fast. Some speculate as fast as a cheetah, and of course they were very large, with the largest of the species growing up to 3 meters tall and 6 meters long with a 2-meter beak. Imagine getting hit by one of those. Number 3, Megalodon. The oceans may be full of terrifying creatures even today, but nothing compares to the sheer size and power of the Megalodon. This massive shark had an estimated length between 10 and 20 meters and weighed over 60,000 kilograms. That's bigger than a Tyrannosaurus rex. Just imagine the colossal jaws of this beast sinking its teeth into you. It's enough to make anyone never want to go in the water again. Number 2, Smilodon. Also known as the saber-toothed cat, Smilodon was a ferocious feline that roamed North and South America during the Pleistocene epoch. With its long saber-like canines, it could take down large prey such as bison and mastodons. Although it may look like a big cat, it was actually more closely related to cheetahs. But do not be fooled by its appearance, because this cat was a powerful hunter and would not hesitate to attack if provoked. Number 1. Mammoth Steppe. Megalodon may have been the king of the oceans, but Mammoth Steppe was the undisputed ruler of the land. This massive mammal lived in North America during the Pleistocene epoch and could grow up to 12 feet tall. Its tusks could reach a length of 16 feet and weighed over 200 pounds each. No wonder it was called the Walking Fortress. So, there you have it, the top 6 monsters that still exist today. Which one scares you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time. These are the most scary animals that ever existed. Number 5. Terror bird. Weighing up to half a ton, their main weapon was their head, which could grow up to a meter long, allowing them to swallow prey as large as a dog in one single gulp. However, thanks to the hooked tip of the bill, which was used as a weapon, the terror birds could kill and devour prey much larger than a dog, including horses, camels, and humans if they were around at the time. Number 3. Titan aboa. Being the largest snake to ever exist, Titan aboa grew upwards of 15 m long and weighed over a ton. It lived in the warm climates of the tropics 60 million years ago. It killed its prey by squashing it like the modern boa constrictor, and there's pretty much nothing that thing couldn't squeeze like a tube of toothpaste. Meaning, this thing would eat you like a boa constrictor would eat a guinea pig, which is why you should be happy it's extinct. Number 2. Arthop pleura. If you've ever seen a centipede or millipede crawling through your backyard and you thought that was a whole lot of nope, or perhaps seen or heard of the giant centipede and thought those things are kind of scary, then you should see a photo of an arthropleura. This thing is basically a giant pill bug. The scariest part about it all, it's an arthropod. So not only does it have the ability to crush you with its 100 legs, but also has a hard shell to protect itself from any predators that are brave or stupid enough to try and eat it. Number 1. Dunkleosteus. It's a fish. Well, it's actually an extinct genus of fish that lived during the Devonian period around 350 million years ago. It had strong jaws and razor-sharp teeth to devour its prey. Its armor was thick and bony, making it nearly impenetrable. Its size was enormous. Some species could grow up to 6 meters long and weigh up to a ton. It could easily eat anything that fit in its mouth, including each other. It swam by using its powerful tail fin, which could propel it through the water at high speeds. Dunkleosteus truly was the apex predator of the seas and arguably one of the most perfectly adapted animals of all time. That's all for today. See you next time. If you thought dinosaurs were scary, then you might not want to know about the Arthop pleura, which were massive millipedes that could grow up to 3 meters long. These things had few, if any, predators, and it's not actually known whether they themselves were predators or not, but either way, odds are you would not want to run into one of these things. Number 1. Mosasaurus. Fossil evidence suggests that Mosasaurus could reach as much as 50 feet in length, making it one of the largest marine predators of Earth's history. The Mosasaurus head was like that of a crocodile, lined with hundreds of razor-sharp teeth, which could kill even the most well-armored enemies. Almost 3 times the size of the Leoplon, which was perhaps the next most ferocious sea predator, the Mosasaurus would be capable of eating a small boat in one bite. These gigantic monsters lived during the age of dinosaurs, specifically the late Cretaceous period. They were found all over the world, including North and South America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. Fossils of mosasaurs have been found in many of these places, including the famous one at the Natural History Museum in London. Mosasaurus were marine reptiles, meaning that they lived in the ocean and were related to snakes and lizards. They had long, powerful tails that they used to swim underwater, and their bodies were shaped like torpedoes to help them move through the water more easily. Their teeth were also very important for catching prey. Mosasaurs had 2 sets of teeth, the first for catching fish and the second for crushing bones. This is because they often ate larger animals such as whales and dolphins, which have very strong bones. While mosasaurs were amazing predators, they weren't the only ones living during this time period. There were also giant squid, sharks, and other marine reptiles. Despite this competition, mosasaurs were still able to thrive and grow to enormous sizes. They likely hunted schools of fish and other large animals, working together in groups to take down their prey. Although mosasaurs are no longer with us today, we can still learn a lot from their fossils. By studying them, scientists hope to better understand how these amazing creatures lived and what caused their extinction. Do you think you could survive an encounter with a mosasaurus? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to stay tuned for more videos about prehistoric creatures. Thanks for watching. See you next time.